has some personal health issues, kind of put everything in perspective a little bit. So definitely praying for he and his family with it. Our game yesterday, we have had a chance to kind of digest some of the things that happened yesterday in the game. The guys played hard, yes, fought, did everything that they thought they could do to help us win. We came up a little bit short, though. As I said yesterday, offensively, we were more productive yesterday. Our quarterbacks both played good football. I thought our line gave us a chance with some of the blocking. Damon Pierce always runs hard. Some of the receivers have stepped up. Chris Moore was outstanding. Outstanding with his special teams play. Outstanding, of course, as a receiver. Amari Rogers also getting into the mix. I like what those guys were able to do. So we did some good things. We would like to have finished, though, and that's what we didn't do. Had an opportunity there late. Defensively, same thing. When Steve Nelson went down, Tremon Smith had an opportunity to play, and he was productive. Des King always plays hard, like front seven. So I'm talking about a lot of the good things that we did throughout the team with all three phases against a good Dallas football team. But hopefully we can build on it and eventually get over the hump and finish.
This late in the season, is there any concern that any of the players injured would not be able to play again this year, or do you feel like everyone would be able to play again this year?
Well, we're hoping. We got a lot of football left to go. 4 games still left to go, and you can get a lot of good work done in that time. But I know we have a great medical staff, and hopefully we can get some of the guys back. Some were close last week. The Jonathan Grenards, the Graylin Arnolds, and we still kept out a few of our, Nico Collins didn't play, Brandon Cooks didn't play, Derek Stingley didn't play. So hopefully we can get some of the guys back. I don't know much more right now about, the injured player's status right now, but we'll find out a little bit later.
About Damian Pierce, do you have any more information on him and if he could play this week?
No, he has an ankle injury. They kept him out. He didn't finish the game. That's always concerning when a player doesn't finish the game. It'll take an awful lot for him not to play. But if it's an injury, of course it can. And, sometimes hopefully it's short term. We'll see.
As a review of the film with the 2-quarterback system, how effective do you think it was having now, being able to re-watch it?
Well, I thought it was effective yesterday. 2 different flavors, and that's always tough for a defense to prepare with what we were doing with them. And as far as what we're going to do this week going forward, we start evaluating, see what we need to do against another good division-leading Kansas City football team. We'll see how that goes, but both quarterbacks were productive yesterday. Davis Mills, second time in that starting role, I thought he played well, made some good throws. I know you'll look and you'll see an interception, but in that last one, we can't really put that all on him, just trying to make a play. And we'll need that type of play to have a chance against Kansas City.
With Driscoll maximizing his elevations at this point, are y'all comfortable carrying 3 quarterbacks? How would you manage that going forward?
We're going to do what we have to do to get the best players on active roster. We feel like we need to have a chance to beat them. We know that he's out of elevations, but we can't let that stop us from getting our best 48 players that are ready to go this week.
How did Taylor Stallworth do? He got here late in the week as far as playing the game.
I thought Taylor did some good things also, and he had, I think, 2 days. Really 1 day of practice, and it was finals week. We crammed as far as getting as much of the playbook in, but again, I thought he did a good job picking up stuff mentally and the way he played also.
What did you see after reviewing the goal line play with Chris Moore, is that something you'd send to the NFL's office at all?
For what reason? I mean, sent to the NFL. We talk about all of the plays. Think he was down. They say, God, we don't look behind much, When plays are close, when we have eyes up in the sky looking, we make decisions, and you kind of go with it from there.
Can I ask why not make?
Because we thought we had a good look. We thought we had a look, and that's why we didn't challenge it. Simple as that. Everyone. The other fourth down play, we saw it. We decided not to. It's kind of simple as that. We think Chris was down, and we'll go with that.
Your team has had several takeaways the past couple of games. How much have you been impressed with what they've been able to do in that regard, and are you hoping to see them build on that?
We have to continue that. I just think nowadays offenses, Christie, are so good. You need to be able to steal a couple possessions. That's about takeaways. And in an ideal world, takeaways in the we had one inside the 5, one inside maybe the 25 or so. Just put the offense in a favorable position to score. And the one with the special teams too. It's a must. We go into every game wanting. We say it's a good football game for us if we can get three takeaways. We were able to get that yesterday. If you count the fourth down stop, that gives you a chance. But it takes those type of things, especially against good offenses. We played a great offense yesterday. Of course, we're playing another one this week. Seemed like that'll be the storyline, as we finish up the season.
Over the course of the year up to this point, knowing that you had one more game left to elevate Driscoll, how did y'all manage that leading up, and why this game up to this point? We just
thought that that's what we need to do that week. The elevation part didn't really, he had one more elevation, but we're going to do whatever we need to do to get the guys to the game that we feel like we need to win. It's kind of simple as that, and for us, it's not later. What gives us the best chance? This week, yesterday for Dallas. What do we need to get these guys? We practiced throughout the week with that with some of the quarterback, things that we wanted to do. I'm talking about, the plan at the quarterback position that we had all along. So we had an idea of what we wanted to do, and then as far as, we can always, of course, get the guys to the game that we need to, some kind of way.
What type of things do you feel like you all want to replicate that you all did well against Dallas?
There's quite a bit. Jonathan, I thought, offensively, just look at the offensive plan that we had, and we missed the fourth down. At a fourth down stop, possibly get more points then. We missed, inside of 5. So that could have been a, over 30-point game offensively. So I'm going to say most of the things we did yesterday. Thought passing game-wise, when a Chris Moore has over 100 yards receiving, I thought Damon played well. For the most part, we got some of what we wanted to do with the running game going. So there's a lot that we would like to duplicate from what we did yesterday. We'll need to.
The fourth down play option, if the play had worked, how was it supposed to work in general?
Now you're going to, Aaron, you got to hit me with that. How was this supposed to work? Man, it's supposed to cross the goal line. What do you mean, how was this supposed to work? You said option, right? Option. So any option, quarterback option, quarterback keeps it or he pitches it to Rex, and one of them scores. We had some breakdown. Most of the plays, when I say execution, there's a breakdown, and we had a breakdown. I don't think I've come in here ever and start pointing at exactly who it was. We didn't execute well. We had a breakdown in how we really wanted to block that. The initial formation wasn't correct. So we had some things like that didn't lend us to scoring on really the last couple of plays.
Going forward, hypothetically, if you guys were to, use that 2-quarterback system in games after this one, what's the balance in making sure that when you do have Jeff out there, you're not too predictable? Because, yesterday, when he was out there, for the most part, you guys were running the ball. So what's the balance of trying to make sure you guys, when he's out there, aren't too predictable? When
I come to the press, I'd like to answer your question, but me answering that question, can I tell you what we're going to do with our plan? So I don't know how to really answer that question. We have a plan. All of the things that you said, we understand that. And putting on my defensive coordinator's hat a little bit, we understand that part of it too. But there are some things that you can do. Now you kind of see what we could possibly be doing. I'm not saying that we're going to use it. You mentioned the 2-quarterback system. That's what we did yesterday. No more than that. We'll see exactly what we do that gives us the best chance. We're just transitioning over to the Chiefs right now. So we'll see how that game plan goes.
Mills, some of the throws he made, like before getting the field goal before halftime, pushing the ball down the field in other spots, how much more did you see of the Mills that you were confident going into the season?
I think it's a good point. When I say Davis Mills played well, yeah, there were a couple of tight window throws, ball being thrown on time. He scrambled around in the pocket. All of the things that, we want to see from our quarterback that was required of the quarterback position yesterday is what Davis did. And I'm going to also add that I thought Jeff threw the ball. It's one thing, yeah. When you say you know what we're going to do when Jeff's out there, well, Jeff threw a couple passes too. So it's just not one thing. So there's a lot of different ways that we can go with this game plan. And so we're excited to get deeper into it.
Roy Rogers, the development in a couple weeks, I was getting up to speed on the playbook, but just in terms of getting his confidence and going after being cut by another team, what do you see from him just where he is?
Well, I said last week, I think we all, sometimes need a second chance. Change area codes, however you're going to look at it. I know since he came into the building, he's been a pro about everything. He's picked everything up quickly. He's smart. He's bright. He's got ability. And, of course, for I think the first couple of weeks, I guess, he wasn't active. And but now his number was called, and I thought he stepped up to the plate. And he looked comfortable in the role that we had him in yesterday. And hopefully we can continue to grow that. And we get Brandon back. We get Nico back too. Putting him into the mix with the rest of the receivers that I'm going to say Philip Dorsett too, that seem to continue to step up.
Was Stallworth getting in soon after getting claimed? Was that?
I'm sorry?
Taylor Stallworth?
Yes.
Was his getting in there more because of need, or was it kind of different defensive tackle-wise in this system? And just kind of
well, everything is about need, yeah. Want, need, want more production, all of that. I mean, Kirk has been hurt, so that kind of opens up an avenue a little bit. But we saw a player that we like. We're not going to bring anybody in unless, he's checked off a few boxes that we're looking for. And so happened where we are position-wise, where we needed a guy to play, to be active. And again, I like what he did the first time out. And as I mentioned, I know who's been coaching him. One of the best defensive line coaches in football had been coaching him. But it still was good for him to get into the mix and look like he'd been around here a while.
Last one, Cole. Lovie, you brought this up yesterday. You guys had a lot of sack with both Titus and Laramie. This is, I think, the fourth game this year we have a lot of sack. When you're able to do that against a pass rush like Dallas, which ranks in the top half of the NFL, does that give you a boost of confidence to open up the playbook regardless of who your quarterback is?
Yeah, I think so. And you just mentioned, the group that we played yesterday, they didn't get a sack, right? And I mean, they've sacked just about everybody. I mean, leading the league. So to be able to hold them down like that, I've talked about some of the games where we didn't block as well as we needed to on the offensive line, but thought they gave us a chance yesterday in a hostile environment. But things like that, yeah, it has to give you confidence going forward. And even on some of the plays that we call, some of the things that we want to be able to do, yes.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.